everybody. Today we're going to be cooking scones. A lot of you already know how to cook scones, but you might have problems with them rising, so we're going to go through that today. We've already preheated our oven to 200 degrees Celsius, but ours has a fan in it. So if yours doesn't, heat it up a little bit higher by 10 to 20 degrees, which would be 210 degrees Celsius to 220 degrees Celsius. We've greased our baking trays here with butter. You can use baking paper or a little bit of oil, just as long as it's greased so the scones don't stick. So we've got a bit of flour here because we're going to need that for when we roll our dough out to make our scones. Instead of using a cutting ring, we've just got an ordinary glass here we're going to use. We will put flour around the rim when we do cut them out. So we've got a bowl here for mixing. We're going to need 2 cups of flour to start with. Making scones is not too difficult, but it does get a bit messy because it gets a bit doughy and you've got flour and everything like that. But it's a good idea to get kids to help too. It's something easy that they can do too, and they'll take interest in it if they're interested in cooking, that is. So there's one. And there's our second cup. You can sift it if you want, but I feel like that sifting doesn't really change the scones too much. So I didn't bother with sifting the flour today. So we've got our 2 cups of flour in there. Now, we need butter. For this amount of flour, we need 2 tablespoons of butter. So there's one. And there's our second. Now what you do with this is you use your fingertips and you rub it into the flour. So just start rubbing that in with our fingers. Now you only do things with these scones as minimal as you can. So if it's just mixed enough, that'll do, because you don't want to be too heavy with mixing the dough or kneading it, because that will also complicate it rising. You also have to remember that you are not to open the oven either, because that really does make them go flat. So you just look through the glass. It should take roughly about 15 minutes for scone to cook. So you can see it's all mixed in properly. Sort of like a crummy sort of consistency here. Now what we do is we've got to add our milk in next, but before we do, we have to make a well in the middle of our flour. So we just make an area where there's no flour at all. Just going to get all that excess off my hand. Well, what we do is we need 1 cup to 2 cups of flour. So we grab our cup again. Let's go move this out really quickly. So got our cup. This is where it gets messy because it'll get quite doughy and a bit sticky. So I'm just going to do that so it doesn't spill anywhere over the bench or anything like that. So there is our 1 cup of milk. You just pour that in the middle there. Let's put the lid on the milk. So we shouldn't need that. We don't need that anymore. So we're just going to start by chucking the flour on top. Now it does get a bit cold because the milk is fresh out of the fridge, so it's a bit cold. It's going to get very sort of sticky. See, this is sticky consistency, but you just want to make sure you've gotten everything, all the flour that's dried, until it's wet and doughy. Now remember, you want to do as little to this as possible. So there's our dough. Chopping board. Just get as much of this out as we can. You can always add more flour and milk if you got, if you want to make a bigger portion of them, or if you've got more people that you're making them for. So we don't put it aside. So there's our dough on the board. We just need to sprinkle a bit of the flour on. Now you have to use SR flour. You might think it's okay to use normal flour when sort of kneading it, but it's not, because that actually does affect it, because I've done it before and they had trouble rising because of that. So only SR flour if you want your scones to turn out right. Even if these don't rise very well, they will, because I've done this before, they will taste very light and fluffy too. Just got to make sure it's dough and kneaded properly, but as minimal, as I said. You don't want to really do much with this. I think that's enough flour. I'll try and get this off my fingers. Now, you don't want to make these too thin. So you probably want to make it that thick when you cut them. So we've got our rolling pin over here. We're just going to put some flour on that. So just going to gently roll it all out. So that's probably what the size and thickness you want. You can make them a bit thicker if you want, but that's how I do it. Just going to put the cup into the flour so that nothing will stick. Just going to cut them as close to the edge as possible. And that's what I didn't want them to get stuck inside the glass. We got it, so it's alright. Now it doesn't take too long to do this, and kids generally like stuff like this. Our glass is a bit big, so they're cutting into bigger portions, but you can use a smaller glass. So you can make them bite-sized if you felt like you wanted to do that. So we're not going to get rid of all this pastry, we're going to roll it up again. I'm just going to quickly roll it out again. Because it's fresh, because you made it fresh, that does tend to try and fall apart a bit. But don't be worried if it does that. So just grab that cup again. It might be enough to make one more. Just going to pat it out. So just going to put that on there too. Now, we can still use this, so what I do is I just grab it and sort of roll it in a ball. So there can be an extra scone. I'll be back in a second because I forgot to get an egg. So I've got an egg, I'm just going to quickly grab a bowl. And put a teensy bit of milk in there too. And we'll make some butter here. So you want to be like, I've got to get all that now. So just don't lose that. splash a bit of this on. So you could make it, increase the size of everything you put in there to make it for more people. We only have 4 people in our household, and this is probably enough just with a cup of tea or something like that, a snack. They're easy to make and they cook quickly, so they're all done. Just going to put that aside, and we're going to grab them and chuck them into our oven, which I said is we preheated at the beginning of the video. Now remember not to open the door. They should take about 15 minutes to cook. So we'll be back in that amount of time. We'll see you then. Welcome back everybody. Our scones have now browned and we're going to take them out shortly. But first, make sure you have 2 tea towels because that pan's going to be pretty hot. So I'm just going to grab them out. Make sure not to burn yourself. Chopping board. Just going to close the oven quickly. So we have a few choices of how you can eat them. So you can eat them just like this, or okay, a couple of plates out. You can pick one up. Not too hot. They're a bit stuck, but even though I did put oil of butter on the bottom, they have stuck a little bit. But use a butter knife to quickly just gently go. So we've got one here. So the first way you can have them, to cut them straight down the centre into 2 parts, so you can get to the inside. As you can see, it's a bit hot in there. The first way to have them is just with butter. Now you can just butter one side, like one top or bottom, but we usually butter both, the top and the bottom, because we eat them in halves. So you can have them like that. They're yum like that. Or, this is a good one for the children. I'm just going to grab the knife again to get one off. They have stuck a little bit, even though I have greased it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this one open. Now this is my favourite way to have them. So we have cut it in half now. What we do is we grab the jam. It's strawberry jam, by the way. And we just put a decent amount of that on there. If your children like sweet things and like jam, they're definitely like this. So we just butter the top one as well. Now what we have here is we have a pressure packed can of whipped cream. We'll just shake that up. And we're going to break the seal first. Oops. That didn't go to plan. We'll just leave that there. So we put our whipped cream on top so you can eat them either way. Both ways it's yum. Just personal preference. This is a sweeter sort of thing, but it's just the scone and a bit of butter. So I hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time. If you like this video and you found it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time, folks.